Let me tell you, Mother Flower, something real quick. It's crazy how once again NXT has done an amazing job getting everyone excited for TakeOver. They've done the exact same thing with TakeOver War Games, TakeOver Philadelphia, TakeOver New Orleans, and now here they are again, getting everyone excited for TakeOver Chicago 2. You look at TakeOver Chicago 2 right now. It's pretty much a stacked card, right? And I'll be honest too, at the same time, and I guarantee a lot of people will disagree with me on this, but when I look at TakeOver Chicago 2, the same way that I viewed TakeOver Chicago 1, and you know the two matches that were good on that card. You had Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne for the UK title. You had the tag team ladder match that closed the show between DIY and the Authors of Pain, which led to Tommaso Ciampa turning on Johnny Gargano to where we are at today, if you will. And I felt like this TakeOver, just like that TakeOver, is just a throwaway TakeOver. A throwaway, because be real about it. In a couple of months from now, it's going to be TakeOver Brooklyn 4. NXT's WrestleMania. Out of all the TakeOvers, that's the important one. That's like the big one for them, right? In Brooklyn, SummerSlam weekend. And I feel like this TakeOver Chicago 2, we're going to see stuff that's going to build up or lead to TakeOver Brooklyn 4. That's my honest opinion. I, as always, however, want it from all of you in the comment thread of this video. Your thoughts on this TakeOver, which match are you looking forward to, and all that fun stuff. Or not, let me know on Twitter. Obviously, this is the prediction video. There's literally 5 matches on this card. 5 matches. And it's crazy how the main roster is still struggling to get people excited for Money in the Bank. Shame on you, Mother Flowers. So, we're starting off with Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross for the NXT Women's Championship. It should be a fun match. However, this whole time I thought the way they were going to go was Shayna Baszler versus Dakota Kai. These past couple of weeks leading up to the show, it's always been Shayna Baszler getting the upper hand on Dakota Kai, bullying her, teasing her, having, again, Dakota Kai being in fear for this woman, being Shayna Baszler. As you all know, Shayna Baszler injured Dakota Kai a couple of months ago, right? And that's my thought. I thought they're going to do that match to TakeOver Chicago 2, that is. But no, as you all saw a couple weeks ago, it was Shayna Baszler versus Dakota Kai on television, which caused Nikki Cross to come out and I guess in some way make the save. At the same time, let it be known that, hey, she wants the title. She is not afraid of Shayna Baszler, right? Nikki Cross is a lunatic of her own that Shayna Baszler is caught off guard, right? And that's the whole belief here. Hey, Nikki Cross can actually, do the, finally make it happen and be Shayna Baszler. And honestly, I don't see it happening. I still think that the plan is to still have the belt on Shayna Baszler. And again, it should be a fun match all you want. There could be some good near falls here, but when it's all said and done, I think Shayna is retaining. And I do see at TakeOver Brooklyn 4, we seeing Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. That's what I see happening, but anything could possibly happen. But I'm going with Shayna Baszler retaining the championship. It should be a fun match, but again, the build up to this, again, has been Again, how at the final minute you add Nikki Cross to this, but hey, it is what it is. We then get Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream. I've said this a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to say it again. This, to me, is the match of the weekend. This, to me, is the match that I feel will steal the show at TakeOver Chicago 2. Hell, I'm even going to go just a step further. You may think I'm reaching here. That's fine. We're probably going to be looking at the match of the year for NXT/WWE. Everything that they've done leading up to this match has been fucking amazing. Just the promos back and forth. Anything you can do, I can do better. They had that handicap match against Lars Sullivan where it looked like as a team they can actually go, and then obviously Velveteen Dream felt disrespected and he attacked Ricochet, and then we also saw the whole thing where Ricochet ran out of the ring over the top rope and landed on his feet in front of Velveteen Dream. again, this whole thing's been fucking amazing. And I'm even going to go even one more step further. I predict this match will outdo Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate from TakeOver Chicago 1. But at the same time, you look at this too, I feel like as much as Ricochet should win this match all the hell you want, I feel like Dream needs this more. I feel like. And it's another big profile match on TakeOver for Velveteen Dream, just as it's for Ricochet. But when it's all said and done, I see Velveteen Dream getting the win here. But honestly, I see these two guys feuding once again down the road for something bigger. I'm not saying take over Brooklyn 4 or anything like that, but somewhere down the road in NXT. So this will not be the last time these two guys will go at it at a TakeOver, in my honest opinion. We then go on to seeing the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Listen, this should be a fun match all you want. The build-up here is, hey, here's Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan always getting, and in some way getting attacked by the Undisputed Era. The Undisputed Era believe these two guys don't belong and how they are superior to, Burch and Lorcan. And we're finally going to see them go at it. It should be a fun match. It's probably, in my opinion, another sleeper. But at the same time, when it's all said and done, I see the Undisputed Era actually retaining the championships here. I don't see them losing the belts. I think it'll be kind of silly to have these two guys lose the belts right here now. But it should be a fun match. Nonetheless, I do see possibly Pete Dunne getting involved, maybe Adam Cole, which is crazy too, because I feel like, Adam Cole, right, is the North American champion, right? They made a big deal out of that belt at TakeOver New Orleans in that awesome ladder match, and he's not featured on this card. That's kind of weird. Hell, even EC3, the 1%er all you want, and I feel like even him is not featured on this show. It's kind of like, wow, kind of random, you know what I mean? But that being said, like I said earlier, I see Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong retaining the championships here. And maybe somewhere down the road, because I do know that the Undisputed Era are scheduled to go up against British Strong Style at the UK show coming up in a couple of weeks on the network. Maybe that stems off to a program with Tyler Bate and Trent Seven versus Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, but we'll see. Also, I didn't mention this earlier, but did we talk about Ricochet being hurt? Apparently he's hurt, apparently he's not hurt, but from what it looks like, they're not having him wrestle at house shows just to get him to take over Chicago. So maybe that even can also have an impact on the finish of Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream. We then go to Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan for the NXT Championship. And this is the problem with this feud. I feel like ever since Aleister Black, and I said this numerous times, I'm going to keep on saying it here as well, ever since Aleister Black won that NXT Championship, it seems like he's become the forgotten champion. He's become an afterthought, right? And the reason, obviously, because, again, the big feud on the show has been Gargano and Ciampa. The focal point has been those two. And at the same time, here's Aleister Black, who's a phenomenal performer in his own self. And it's like, yeah, you're the champ. Whoop-de-doo. But on the other side, these two guys, Gargano and Ciampa, are fucking killing it. You know what I mean? But I have the belt, though. I'm Aleister Black. I have the fucking belt. And I'll be honest, I feel like this feud is a random program. I get it. Like, yeah, Lars Sullivan beat Ricochet and Velveteen Dream in that handicap match. He's been built like this fucking, Leviathan monster and shit like that. But, the whole notion of, hey, Aleister Black couldn't hit the Black Mass kick on Lars Sullivan. Remember, a couple weeks ago, Aleister Black went for the freaking Black Mass kick, or the Fade to Black, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And Lars Sullivan caught the shit with one hand. Literally one hand on some Dragon Ball Z type of shit, right? And literally this whole feud, you've seen Lars Sullivan get the upper hand on Aleister Black. So I'm supposed to believe, by just seeing all that Aleister Black is going to actually retain the championship, as he should. At the same time, I say this a random feud because you think about it, okay? Lars Sullivan, like I said this a while ago about Lars Sullivan, he's a slow project in the making, just like Bianca Belair. Hell, even if you want to go like a little step further, hell, even someone like a Lacey Evans, they're projects that you're building up right now. That being said, do I feel that Lars Sullivan is ready to even face for the championship? In my honest opinion, no, he's not. But I get it. I understand. This is just a throwaway title defense, if you will, for Aleister Black. Just so they can get to take over Brooklyn. Because I said before, to me, this takeover, once again, is a throwaway takeover. Like, let's just get to Brooklyn. Let's put this show right now. It's going to be good. People are going to go crazy for this shit. Because, again, everyone goes crazy for NXT. But the big focal point is, let's get to fucking Brooklyn. That being said, I see Aleister Black retaining the NXT Championship. It should be a fun match all you want. I guarantee it's going to be, once again, Lars Sullivan overpowering Aleister Black. But out of nowhere, Aleister Black hits the Black Mass Kick. And there you go with that. Then we get the main event of the evening, which obviously going to close the show. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa in a Chicago street fight. Now, do I think that these two guys are going to go out there and outdo their performance from TakeOver New Orleans? Honestly, no. People I've heard say, oh, this should not main event. Are you kidding me? Are you insane? This is literally a year in the making. Granted, I always believed that when Ciampa turned on Gargano, right, at TakeOver Chicago 1 last year, right, the plan was for these two guys to go at it at TakeOver Brooklyn 3. Obviously, it didn't happen. Ciampa got hurt, and you saw where that ended up for Johnny Gargano. Him trying to refine himself with Johnny freaking wrestling. He lost to Andrade Cien Alma. Then was on his fucking winning streak, beating people left and right. He won that fatal 4-way to get a shot at the championship at Andrade Cien Alma at TakeOver Philadelphia. And all of this, like I said, has led him to here now. Like, even with that, like, to that moment, and then Ciampa comes back, turns on Gargano, they go over to fucking New Orleans, they tear the house down, even though at the same time, there's a whole thing where Gargano was gone, but at the same time, Gargano wanted revenge on Ciampa, wanted to get his revenge. He stalked him down at his house, at the workplace, and then they went to New Orleans, they tore the house down, and Gargano's mind, hey, this shit's over already. But no, it's not, because Ciampa's back. And again, he is even crazier now than ever. And he has a focal point to get rid of Johnny Wrestling, right? And everyone thought that he got that done a couple weeks ago when Gargano was supposed to face Aleister Black for the championship on TV. And it didn't go out that way because, again, Ciampa took out Gargano. And here we are now. And all this led to, again, Johnny Gargano snapping. All he wants to do is literally end Tommaso Ciampa. And at the process, it got Candice LeRae hurt, which is his wife of Johnny Gargano. And all this, again, is going to be crazy as all hell. But I just don't see them outdoing their TakeOver New Orleans match. But at the same time, it's crazy because they're going back to the same building where it all started, back to the scene of the crime, right? So, all that being said, I'm going with Tommaso Ciampa. I feel like he's going to win. And maybe at TakeOver Brooklyn 4, they go at it again, maybe in the first ever NXT Hell in a Cell match. Because if you think about it, right? This feud is a blood feud. This feud is that I hate you so badly that I'll do anything to fucking end you, right? This should be on a Hell in a Cell. Probably one of the best Hell in a Cell matches that WWE will ever fucking do. Because again, NXT always has that extra niche, if you will. But we'll only see. But again, if I'm going with the winner here, I'm going to go with Tommaso Ciampa. I see Ciampa winning this match. And again, it's not the end of this feud. That being said, I've said this a while ago, and I'm gonna say here again. Like, yeah, Ciampa's the heel, but I always felt like what would have happened, right? If Johnny Gargano would have been the one to turn on Tommaso Ciampa, what would have happened? I asked you that question in the comments below. Give me your thoughts on what you think would have happened if Gargano would have been the one to turn on Tommaso Ciampa, right? And Gargano has been the heel, because I always felt like, again, if you never seen Gargano as a heel, look at his stuff from Evolve or Dragon Gate USA. Highly underrated. But again, Johnny Gargano is being placed as NXT's Daniel Bryan. Hey, who's to even say, right, that EC3 gets involved, it interferes and costs Gargano the match? Remember, a couple weeks ago it was EC3 versus I forgot this dude's name. It was Fabian Eichner. Yeah, it was Fabian Eichner, right? And Gargano gets involved. Well, not involved in the match, but he literally walks in during the middle of their match to announce that he has a contract. He wants Ciampa to sign it. It interrupts EC3's moment, right? Who's to say, out of spite, out of anger, EC3 cost Johnny Gargano the match, right? And you start a program with EC3 versus Johnny Gargano. It can happen. And honestly, I really wouldn't mind it. I really would not mind that at all. Or if not, you could do this whole thing where Gargano wins, which I'll be kind of shocked, but whatever. And you have then EC3 come out and attack Gargano, and they build up that feud. I mean, they did have a match here or two in Evolve a couple years ago, so why the hell not? But nonetheless, TakeOver Chicago 2 looks to be like a very, very fun show to watch. But at the same time, like I said, to me, TakeOver Chicago 2 is just a throwaway takeover just to get everybody to take over Brooklyn 4 coming up at SummerSlam weekend. But again, NXT once again has done an amazing job getting everyone excited, everyone looking forward to TakeOver, with NXT building up the TV shows for this event. Meanwhile, the main roster on Raw and SmackDown are struggling to getting people invested, excited for Money in the fucking Bank. But as always, Mother Flowers, I want it from you. I want it from you in the comment thread of this video. Give me your thoughts, with your predictions, if you will. Let me know in the comment threads. If not, let me know on Twitter at HeelSteven. Thank you all for watching. As always, Mother Flowers, hate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, it's me, it's Steve. Mother Flowers, I am out. Peace out, y'all.